are you thinking about?
Still trying to absorb things, I suppose. Here I am flying back to Oakdale when I'd only just arrived in Edinburgh, determined to start a new life without Thomas. Or you.
It's not going to be easy for me to admit that Shannon was right about my feelings for you.
Whew.
Are you cold?
I always find airplanes a bit chilly.
Well, I'll get you a blanket.
No, Brian, you don't have to. We'll be in Chicago soon, won't we?
Mm-hmm. Not for a while. Besides, I don't mind waiting on you.
Brian, you mustn't come back here. Never again. Go straight to the airport, fly back to Shannon, beg for forgiveness, and marry her as soon as you can.
Beg her forgiveness? She left me at the altar, remember?
Only because she loved you.
She loved me, so she left me at the altar?
Yes.
I don't understand this. Are you even all... Is this some kind of a crazy female logic?
This has nothing to do with logic, Brian. All that matters is that you and Shannon belong together.
Because of something you saw in some tea leaves?
Yes. A perfect little shamrock where the heart lies.
You didn't. So she gave me 6 camels in payment for the whiskey. But I'll be damned if I could figure out how to get him back to Scotland.
Gosh, Duncan, that's just another one of your tall tales.
Oh, listen to you. You've told a few tall tales tonight yourself, you know.
Well, oh, my God. Oh, it's not night. It's morning. It's 9 a.m. I can't believe the Mulligan kept this place open all night for us.
You know, the last time I saw the sunrise...
Well, me husband finally gave in, and he's snoring upstairs. Told me you'd be needing some hot coffee.
Great.
Here you are.
Thank you.
The perfect end to a perfect evening. Or shall I say the perfect start to a perfect day?
Here's to that.
Well, I guess this means it's back to reality again.
It's not Beatrice. I'll meet you down at the doctor. I'm very sorry there's nothing interesting for you to do over here. Hi, Charles. All's quiet. Wait, what? No, I didn't hear anything on the line. Wait a minute. Hi. Are you in the usual place? I'll get back to you. Well, apparently someone is very interested in what I have to say.
I guess reality doesn't suit you very well, does it? Or are you still worried about Beatrice not getting in touch with her?
I've tried to call several times. There's no answer. I don't understand it.
There you are. Oh, Shannon, we have been looking for you all over town. Oh,
Well, and a good morning to you too, Uncle Earl. Lisa.
Hi, well, don't tell me. You have been up all night long.
Brian called. He didn't go to the Caribbean at all.
Oh, I know. I spoke with Beatrice, and she said that he's there in Edinburgh.
Well, not anymore. He's on his way back to Oakdale. He'll be here in midday, and the first thing he said to me was that he wanted to talk to you.
Thank you so much, Eric. Are you sure it's no trouble? Well, just let me know how much they cost, and I'll send you a check straight off. Yes. I'd better go now. I miss you, too. Goodbye.
I'm sorry, honey. We didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, it's all right. I was just speaking to Eric. Last night, I forgot to tell him that today is Mona's birthday. Thank you. He's putting flowers on her grave for me.
Well, that's very thoughtful of you.
Speaking to Eric about checks and such, made me realize I should probably open an account in Oakdale, have my London bank transfer funds here.
Well, that's kind of ESP, I guess, because your father and I were just talking about that. Since you're our daughter, we want to make sure that we take care of you the way we do all our children.
You know, here at the university, there's a very good art department. We thought you might want to take some courses, classes, and we, of course, would pay the tuition.
Thank you. You're very generous. But money really isn't a problem for me. The Fullertons left me very well provided for. As their only child, I inherited the entire estate.
Well, that's yours. We wouldn't want you to use up your inheritance.
There's no chance of that. It's well over £5 million.
As the world turned.
Well, I knew the Fullertons were well off, but I had no idea.
I have some papers from my London solicitors. They explain the trust. I'll show them to you. Good morning, Franny.
Morning. Hi. Hi, darling. I guess you... Yeah,
Well, here I was offering financial assistance. Maybe she'd like to give us a little financial.
Oh, Daddy, at this point, nothing surprises me. You know, I think Sabrina had a little trouble sleeping last night. I was up late studying. Her light was still on when I went to bed.
Well, she said that today is Mona Sim's birthday, and that woman was very important to Sabrina.
It's hard to imagine what she's feeling. I mean, I've always taken it for granted that I have a family, that you guys are there whenever I need you. I can't imagine not having that. I know, sweetie.
Didn't Sabrina seem more comfortable last night when everybody was here for dinner?
Yeah, I think she was. I just wish that Barbara had joined us. Why didn't she? Well, she's having a real problem about Sabrina.
Well, since we have publicly acknowledged that Sabrina is our daughter and the details of her birth, Barbara feels that it's in some way disrespectful of her mother's memory and your mother's.
Would it help if I spoke to Barbara? Oh, I don't know how receptive she'd be. I took Sabrina to Fashions yesterday. Barbara was actually rude to her.
Maybe the best thing to do is to give Barbara some space so that she can sort out her thoughts. And in the meantime, I don't think we need to mention any of this to Sabrina. It'll only make her feel less secure.
How long till we get there?
For another 3 hours.
When we get there, I think we should go straight to the castle, because I gave Miranda the night off after we left, and if Duncan tried to phone in Edinburgh, he wouldn't have gotten an answer.
Sometimes I'm amazed at how close you and your brother are.
I suppose it's because our parents died when I was so young. Duncan's always felt the need to be mother, father, and brother. I used to worship him when I was little. I used to love his constant attention.
I seem to recall you told me his overprotectiveness frustrated you, though, too.
At times it still does. But you can't really resent him for it. How can you resent someone for loving you?
Has anyone ever told you that you're a very wise young woman? I love you.
Ryan, I hope you haven't convinced yourself you love me, because you know I have feelings for you. I'd hate it if you loved me because you felt sorry for me.
Beatrice, listen to me. I've only just newly discovered why I went to Edinburgh in the first place. I loved you. And I was just too stubborn to admit it. Shadow O'Hara. The first thing I do when I get back to Oakdale is to find Shannon and say, thank you.
Are you sure that's what she really wants to hear from you?
Did Brian say anything about how he and Beatrice got along over there?
No, he didn't talk long. He just said it was most important to see you as soon as possible.
Well, Duncan, can you take me by the Corbin home? I'd like to take a shower. I'd like to freshen up a bit first.
Well, the plumbing works just fine at the castle. Why don't you come up there and take a shower? And why don't you two join us? We'll have a hearty breakfast.
Oh, we'd love to, thank you, but we won't be...
Breakfast at the castle. Oh, great, Duncan. Yeah.
But, sweetheart, didn't you tell me how...
How hungry I am. Famished, really. And
Listen, on the island, why, I can get some local color for the article that I'm writing.
Oh, an article you're writing that has something to do with my island?
Well, in a way, yes. It's sort of a follow-up to one of Brian's editorials, you know. You remember it. It was titled, Did the Falcon Really Die with Hensley Taggart?
Join me for dinner.
Well, Hal, that's very nice, but Paul said he wanted to be over at a friend's house tonight for dinner. You know, he was acting very funny this morning. Kind of secretive. Kind of the way he was acting when his dad was still around.
Look, I know that you're still worried about James coming back and taking
I'm trying to get over that. I really am. I really am. In fact, I've got some other things to worry about besides that.
Want to talk about it?
It's family stuff. It's something I have to get through on my own.
You're right, I think you should. And then I think you should join me for dinner.
Okay. Okay, I have to get back to fashion.
Just talk for a minute?
Yeah, sure.
Hey, Jimmy, how are you?
Hi, I was just going to come by fashion.
called
Oh, really?
and wanted...
I gotta get back to the station. I'll see you around 6:30.
Great.
See you,
Hal.
Franny.
What's up?
Well, I wanted to talk to you about family. I mean, actually, I wanted to talk to you about Sabrina.
Sabrina. Well, Franny, why don't you tell me how you feel about Sabrina?
Still sinking in. I think everybody feels that way. Kim tells me you're having some trouble accepting the situation.
Yes, I am.
Okay, Barbara, Jennifer was my mother, too.
Okay, wait, right there. You were very young when Mom died. I wasn't. When she died, a part of me died, too. And I've been carrying that pain around me ever since. And then I find out that the two people that she trusted most in the world conceived a child. Do I resent Bob and Kim for this? Yes. Yes, I do.
Okay, I'm not trying to justify anybody's behavior at the time, but remember that Daddy and our mother were separated then.
And how do you think Mom felt? How do you think Mom felt about this? How could Bob and Kim have done this to her?
Because they're not superhuman, Barbara. They're just people. And people make mistakes. And for them to admit their mistake took a lot of courage, and I admire that.
So you're just accepting all this?
No. Look, I have this brand new sister, and every time I look at her, it's like looking into a mirror. I'm a little confused, okay? But I want to accept it. Because I love Dad and Kim. And I don't want to hurt them.
Well, I don't want to hurt them either.
But you have, Barbara. You hurt them very deeply.
Thanks, Franny.
Barbara, thanks.
Let it go.
I don't know.
Well, the important thing is that you care and that you try. Promise me that you'll never change that, huh?
You either. No, Tom, your father's not at home right now, but I'm expecting him for lunch any minute, and I can have him call you back. Well, I think it's just better if he tells you face to face. I will. Love you too, honey. Bye-bye. In fact, Tom has been able to clear his schedule, so I think Bob will fly to Washington tomorrow to explain everything to him. I can't wait for you to meet Tom, Sabrina. I think you're really going to hit it off with him.
I have the most wonderful idea. Why don't all of you come over to Mona Lisa's tonight? I have such a marvelous surprise planned for Earl, and I want you to be a part of it. Huh? What do you think? My guess.
Oh, I'm just not sure that this is the right time.
Luncheon is ready. I need your help. I need your help. Please help me convince Kim that all of you, you two Ellen, must come over to Mona Lisa tonight. I'm planning a little surprise for Earl, and, well, come on, what do you say, huh?
Well, Lisa, I don't know.
Now, Sabrina, dear, please say you'll come. You know, if you do, everybody else is going to tag along. It'll be fun.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It's a lovely invitation, but I really don't think I have the right sort of clothes to wear.
Oh, darling, that's easily solved. Sure, they're the same size as Franny. I know Franny would let you borrow something of hers.
Of course.
Are you sure Franny won't mind?
Franny? She wouldn't mind at all. No. Oh, wait. It's settled. We're going to have such a good time. Oh, wait till you see. I'm using your phone camera.
You're welcome for lunch, ladies. Ladies?
Hi. Well, Sierra, how nice to see you. Nice to see you. I'd like you to meet...
Hi.
This is Sabrina, our daughter.
How do you
This is
do?
Lisa. Nice to meet you, honey. Yes, honey. All right. You guys fix
Threatened Duncan with physical violence if he didn't go convey your compliments to the cook, and now you're manhandling me?
I just wanted to get you alone. What were you doing out all night with Duncan?
Well, please, some things are very personal and private. No, I'm just teasing. We were only talking. Why?
Well, I thought I warned you after that character McNeil showed up with a bullet in his back that keep your distance from Mr. Duncan McKechnie.
But Duncan was cleared of all of that. Besides, Mulligan and his wife were there chaperoning us all night.
It is not smart to get any closer to that man, okay? Now just trust me.
Why should I trust you? Do you know something that I don't know? Hmm?
Well, Ingrid was delighted you fancied her cooking, so...
Well, yes, you must have, Uncle Earl, because you wolfed down breakfast and then you invited yourself for lunch. Haven't you had enough investigative reporting for one day?
Well, you're one to talk. You came here to take a shower, and you haven't even so much as gotten your big toe wet.
Well, I would have, but it was so much fun poking around the tunnels with you and Uncle Earl.
Duncan, I just realized, we covered practically every inch of this castle, and I didn't see anything of Hensley Taggart's presence.
Well, the police took everything of Hensley's as part of their investigation.
Yeah, well, I mean, not everything. I mean, there's still those secret ledgers of his hidden somewhere.
Aye, the Falcon's infamous secret ledgers. Well, the only one that ever saw those was James Stenbeck, and he's the last person I'd trust.
Speaking of James Stenbeck, before I go, I would like to go and look at that old shack on the other side of the island where he supposedly lived while he was working for Taggart.
Well, I'm afraid that's impossible. I caught fire a few nights ago and burned to the ground.
What? Why didn't you say something?
Well,
Did you tell the insurance company?
Why all this sudden interest in an old shack? It's not worth reporting. Well, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go try and phone Beatrice again in the study.
Uncle Earl, what's going on in that little sneaky mind of yours?
I can't even get over it. I mean, if Franny hadn't seen you at Customs all those months ago, you wouldn't even know you had a family, much less the one you have. The Hughes are so wonderful.
Yes, they are, but it's rather new.
Oh, well, in time, you'll get used to it.
You're a bit more confident about that than I am.
No, thanks. Confident, yeah. Well, something very similar happened to me, Sabrina. About 2 years ago, in fact. There's a woman here in Oakdale who's very rich and powerful, and she was instrumental in getting me out of my native country, which is Montego. There was a revolution. Anyway, she got me out, and we became very good friends, and I in fact, lived at her house. And then I, well, about a year later, found out that she was my mother. She had kept it from me all that time. The real point in my telling you this, Sabrina, is that I think you're fortunate to have such straightforward and honest, family members around you. And there's another reason, too, and that is that I want you to know that you have someone you can talk to who's dealt with the same kind of things, and I want you to take me up on that.
Well, thank you. That helps already. It really does.
Sierra, I'm heading back to the hospital. Do you need a lift?
I would love that, thanks.
Yeah. I'll be home in time to change.
All right, darling.
Kim, thank you so much for lunch.
You are more than welcome.
Thanks. And Sabrina, it was very nice talking to you and meeting you.
The pleasure was all mine.
All right, well, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello, Barbara.
Barbara. Hi, darling. Come on in. I have some coffee.
Thank you.
Yes, my goodness. What happened to you and Franny? I thought you were going to join us for lunch.
Yeah, we were, but we kind of lost track of time, and Franny had to get back to class, and so we just dropped a bite at the student union. Sabrina, look, I'm heading out to the farm, and Franny had an idea that maybe you'd like to go with me and do some sketching out there this afternoon.
I like that very much. You and Franny were very kind to think of me. In fact, everyone's been so kind to me. I don't know what I've done to deserve it.
Well, you don't have to particularly deserve it or earn anything. You're just part of the family.
Well, still no answer. I tried phoning Miranda's as well, and there's no answer there either.
Oh, Duncan, I wish you wouldn't be so protective of Beatrice. She's gotten a lot stronger in these last few months. Well, I'm off to take my shower. Goodbye, Uncle Earl.
Mm-hmm. Have a good shower. I'll walk you to the doctor.
Why don't we go through the tunnels?
No, Earl, that's too dangerous. If you remember, that's where Margot had her accident when the wall caved in.
But you had them rebuilt later, didn't you?
Aye. Now I see where Shannon gets her persistence. All right, we'll use the passageways. But I want you to promise me that you'll not ever go down there alone.
A Scout's honor.
Right, come on.
Duncan! You must be upstairs.
Wait a minute. Don't be long.
I can't marry you, Brian. I know you can't accept it yet, but you're not in love with me. You're in love with Beatrice, please. Search your heart, your soul. I know you'll see I'm right. Oh, plumbing seems to work, but I can't find his towel.
And now part 2 of As the World Turns.
Hello, Shannon. I was just thinking about you.
Yeah, Uncle Earl said that you were coming back today and that you had something you wanted to say to me.
Yeah, I do.
Well, how was your flight? Don't you just love Edinburgh? I mean, it's a far cry from the Caribbean, but... What?
What I want to say first is, thank you.
Goodness, for what?
For a lot of things. But most important, for knowing me so well.
You mean your feelings about Beatrice? But I thought, well, I mean, before you left, you...
I was still denying it. But before I left, I was confused. I was angry at you. It wasn't until I got to Edinburgh and saw Beatrice that I knew you were right.
Well, of course I'm right. We Irish always are. It's just you Scots are too stubborn to see it. Oh. Oh, goodness, Brian, you didn't leave Beatrice back in Edinburgh without telling her this, did you?
No, I told her. She flew back with me. She's upstairs looking for Duncan. Shannon, I want you to be the first to know. I've asked Beatrice to marry me. Of course, she hasn't said yes yet, but...
But she will. I know she will. She's a wonderful person, Brian, and so are you, and I'm sure that you'll both be very happy together.
Thank you.
I didn't know you were here. Beatrice, Brian just told me the news. I'm so happy for the both of you. I knew all along I was right.
I hope it didn't upset you that I told Franny how you feel about Sabrina.
No.
Franny made me realize something. I'm very sorry if I have hurt you or Bob by my reaction to all this. Oh, honey. You know, if there had been any way for us to spare you the knowledge of what happened between Bob and me, we would have done it. But we have to acknowledge Sabrina as our daughter, no matter what the implications. We owe that to her. As a parent, you must understand how we feel. Yes, I understand. Intellectually. But in my heart, I keep thinking about Mom. Every time I see Sabrina, it just all gets too close. And it hurts. It hurts a lot. But you see, I understand that, and I'm not asking you to change your feelings. I have no right to do that. What I am asking is that I'd like you to be kind to Sabrina. She's very sensitive, too, and she's dealing with an awful lot. I'll try. Lisa's invited the whole family to come to Mona Lisa's tonight. Wouldn't you join us, please?
No. No, thanks. Listen, Kim, I know that you really want us to be one big, happy family. But please, don't force it. Time will help me deal with this, if anything can.
Our land goes from that stretch of trees down there on back to a back road about 2 miles away. It's kind of hard to get a real feel for the lay of the land when it's all covered with snow like this, but, oh, winter will be over in about a month or so, and most of the snow will be gone. You'll be able to see little green sprouts popping up in these meadows down here.
Reminds me a bit of England. Rolling hills.
Huh. You know, I never really thought about it until now. But you're absolutely right. It is sort of like the countryside around Oxford and Banbury.
I do miss it. And Mona. Stay with the birthday.
Oh.
I can tell you love this farm as much as I love the countryside where I was raised.
Oh. Yeah, I sure do. More than any place in the world. I guess I really hadn't seen much of the world until I went over to Europe to be with Franny. But you know, I'll bet you almost anything that no matter how much of it I see in my lifetime, no place is going to be quite as special as, well, right here. As home.
I don't even know where my home is anymore. I thought it was England. Then I thought the Fullertons were my parents as well. In one moment, my life changed. I entered that church in Torcello, one person, came out another.
Oh, I don't imagine that's true. You're probably pretty much the same on the inside.
I wonder. I have a new home in a new country, a new family, a new sister who looks so much like me she could be my twin. Maybe I'm not quite who I thought I was. Maybe I don't know me at all. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Please don't mention this to anyone in the family. They're doing their best to put me at ease. I don't want to hurt them. Did I say something funny?
Oh, no, not at all. Well, it's just that Franny said almost the exact same thing to me earlier. I guess you two have more in common than just your looks, huh?
Knowing how you feel about Franny, I'll take that as a compliment.
Well, you ought to. It was.
Detective, is this a business or a social call?
It's business. It's about a shack where James Stenbeck recently worked for Hensley Taggart. Did it burn down?
Aye, that it did.
Any idea what caused the fire?
No, but it could have gone up any number of ways. The place was nothing but a deserted tinderbox.
Had you been there recently, previous to the fire? I mean, I thought perhaps if you had, you might have noticed something that might have started it, frayed electrical wires, something like that.
Sorry, I can't help you. I rarely set foot in that shack, although there were flammable materials in it. Old paint and rags and turpentine. After all, it was mainly a storeroom.
Doesn't sound like a very pleasant place for Stenbeck to have worked all those months.
Look, I told you, Stenbeck didn't work or live there. I never saw him there, nor anywhere else on this island, for that matter.
You know, you seem to be plagued by fire. First there was that fire at Thomas Beaton's house in Edinburgh, and you nearly lost your life, and now this.
Well, Detective, I really don't see any connection between two fires that were months and oceans apart.
Conklin, who was that at the door? Oh, hi, Hal.
I guess that's all my questions for the moment. Thank you.
Fine, I'll see you to the dock.
That's okay. I know my way to the dock.
Well, then, if you'll excuse me, I've got to talk to the cook about dinner.
Shannon, what are you doing here? I thought I told you when we brought McKechnie in for questioning about the McNeil murder to stay away from him and this island.
You know, Hal, frankly, I'm getting very tired of being condescended to by you. Give me one good concrete reason why I shouldn't be here.
You can call it a cop's instinct.
Well, I'm sorry, but I have instincts, too. And I am certain that Duncan is a perfect angel.
For your sake, I hope you're right. Good luck.
Thank you. Shannon, I'm glad you're still here. I could stay for dinner. Well, thanks, but I think I'm going to go try to catch Hal and see if I can bum a ride back with him. I want you two to know that I'm really very happy for the two of you. Thanks. Say goodbye to Duncan for me. Ciao. Bye. Brian, how do you really feel now that you've talked to Shannon?
Well, I'd be lying if I said I still didn't care for her. She has great insight into people. Hadn't been for her, I would never have realized how much you mean to me. I still think there's an unanswered question looming out there that I posed in Edinburgh.
Well, I guess there's nothing standing in the way now.
Does that mean yes?
Yes.
You've just made me the happiest man in the world.
Brian, I have one favor to ask. I'd like to tell Duncan first, alone.
Sure. And I'd like to ask your brother for your hand. I know that sounds a bit old-fashioned.
Oh, it's not old-fashioned. It would mean a great deal to Duncan.
Carol in a crew neck tank suit.
Honey, you can't go to Mona Lisa dressed like that, sweet. Go on upstairs and get changed.
Mom, I think it might be better if I didn't go at all.
What? How come?
Look, I know you think my dad's lying about this whole thing with Sabrina. But to tell you the truth, it's putting me in a really bad situation. Now, I don't want to have to choose between the two of you.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You know perfectly well I would never ask you to take sides against your own
Well,
father.
Dad feels you are.
Well, I can't help what your dad feels. The important thing is what goes on between you and me. Now, I've told you, you've got to face the facts. People you love are going to disagree with you occasionally, but that's healthy. You have to listen to the facts, make up your mind as to what you think is right, and then that's your opinion. And you are entitled to that. I'm entitled to my opinion, and so is your father. Now, he and I may disagree about an awful lot of things, but the one thing that we have always agreed about is that we love you very much.
Mom.
Well, there.
I know that. Well, if you want me to come,
Well, if I want... Are you kidding? Of course I want you to come. Besides which, I laid out a clean shirt for you.
A what?
A clean
no,
shirt.
No, Mom,
And a tie.
A tie?
Yes.
No.
For it yourself.
No.
You're gonna love it.
How about a jacket then?
No, a tie.
Hello, Bob. Listen, Tom called me at the hospital. He's got some free time tomorrow, so I'm flying to D.C. to see him. If that's okay with you.
Yeah, oh, of course, honey. I think it's important for the two of you to talk about this face-to-face.
Is something bothering you?
Well, I just had a talk with Andy. John has convinced him that since you and I have a disagreement with John, Andy has to choose sides.
Well, you know, I was afraid of this. John takes every disagreement and turns it into a full-scale battle.
Yeah, well, I'm going to stop the battle before it goes any further. I'm going to talk to him tomorrow.
I better get dressed for dinner.
Okay, listen, honey, is there any chance that Sabrina could borrow something to wear to Mona Lisa tonight? All she has is what she brought to Venice.
Oh, yeah, sure. Is she upstairs?
No, she's not back from Snyder's farm yet.
Okay. I'm going to go get dressed.
Okay, all right.
The little low area that you saw that you wanted to walk down to, is it Hi, Franny.
Hi.
Well, anyway, when the snow all melts, that collects into a...
Seth, have you any idea where Lisa ran off to?
No, I sure don't, Earl. But why don't you go join the Hughes? They're over there. I'll send her if I see her.
All right.
Franny, you coming?
Yeah, in a second.
Okay, sweet.
Second. What are you up to?
What makes you think I'm up to anything?
Oh, come on.
Lisa asked me to help her out. She's trying to do a little surprise for Earl, and so I agreed. What, am I really that transparent?
Oh, yes, you are. Once we're married, don't try to hide anything from me.
Yes, ma'am.
That's silly.
Oh.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh, Paul isn't with you? No, he's at a friend's tonight.
Oh, that's too bad.
I'm so glad you could make it. Everybody's right over there.
Well, actually, we're on our own tonight.
Yeah, I made a reservation and stuff.
Ah, so you did. I think your table's... Yeah, sure. Right this way.
Thanks. Here.
Where is Lisa? I haven't seen her since we came in.
I'm not sure, Nancy. I was wondering the same thing. What's going on here? I thought this was Lila's night off.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Mona Lisa. I have a very special welcome for my dear friends and family. Tonight is Lila's night off, and I thought, well, what is the Mona Lisa without a little song, right? Oh, my, thank you. So I put together a little song, especially as a surprise for my darling husband. So, hit it, Tug. You saw me standing alone without a dream in my heart, without a love of my own. Blue moon, you knew just what I was there for. You heard me saying a prayer for someone I really could care for. And then there suddenly appeared before me the only one my arms could ever hold. I heard somebody whisper, oh, please adore me. And when I looked, my moon had turned from blue to gold. Hey, blue moon, now I'm no longer alone, without a dream in my heart, without a love of my own. Blue.
Duncan, I'm glad we have a moment alone because I need to tell you something.
Oh, you don't need to tell me anything. I can see it in your eyes. Shannon was right, wasn't she? You and Brian.
Yes.
And you're happy, are you?
Incredibly.
Duncan, I want you to be happy for me.
Oh, Beatrice.
What? What is it? You're acting the same way you did the night Thomas and I told you we were getting married.
Beatrice.
Well, now that I've taken care of that business, we can get down to more important matters. You told Duncan our news?
Aye, that she did.
Well, if you will leave, I can take care of this thing properly. With your Beatrice?
Duncan?
I think it's a good idea that we have a moment alone.
I was going to speak to you first, but Beatrice wanted to tell you. I love your sister, Duncan. While I was in Edinburgh, I asked her to marry me, and today she did me the honor of accepting my proposal. Now I'm asking you to do me the honor of giving me your sister's hand. Duncan?
It's not that simple.
Join us each morning at 11 for Wheel of Fortune, followed at 11:30 by Hollywood Squares. The new you is next on TV 11.